Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and today we are doing pretty much a rant video, I guess you could call this. So sit down, grab yourselves a drink, because you are in for a treat. I've been seeing a lot of stuff online recently about what people want from The Sims 4. There's been a lot of discussion about The Sims 4 future. It has just started raining, which it looks like it's about to throw it down. So I apologize if you hear any rain sounds throughout this video. Thank you, England's weather. You are great to me. But as I was saying, a lot of people have been talking about how long The Sims 4 longevity will go on, how long it will stick around, and what they want to see from The Sims 4. And I decided that I was gonna basically call them all out and tell everyone what I don't want to see in The Sims 4 that a lot of other people want to see in the community. You could call this the community that I'm spilling. Starting off with number 5 of what I don't want to see. This one's a slight cop-out because I do want to see it in The Sims 4, but I kind of just don't want to see it right now in The Sims 4. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that needs to come before this in this game, and that is supernatural or other occults. So we have vampires and we have aliens, but I know a lot of people want to see fairies, which you can now get in a mod, which I will leave in the description down below. There is a fairy mod, witches, vampires. I've seen a lot of people wanting magic back, which I will be having a video about that on my channel on Monday, so definitely keep an eye out for that as well. But yeah, right now I just don't feel like supernaturals are what is needed in The Sims 4. I definitely have not played much with aliens practically since Get to Work came out, and vampires are cool and all, but the NPC vampires kind of just annoy me when I'm playing a regular game. So I do not mind if there are plenty of other things to come before supernaturals in the whole lifespan of The Sims 4. But like I said, I will have a video coming on Monday that kind of discusses this topic in a little bit more detail. It's going to be like a sit down vloggy type video, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Hit the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and if you are but you don't get my notifications, then also hit the bell next to the subscribe button and you will get a notification when I upload that video. It is genuinely getting darker and darker by the second as I'm recording this, so please do excuse the fact that the lighting will change in this video probably about 600 different times whilst you are watching it. Just blame the weather and also the fact that the day pretty much ends at 3:30. I should really record these videos earlier on in the day. But apart from that, let's move on to number 4 of what I don't want to see in The Sims 4, and that is, this is definitely gonna be an unpopular opinion, I think, but I'm not fussed about the colour wheel. There, I said it. The EnglishSimmer spilt that tea, which is so against the rules for an English person to do, but I have to be honest, I'm really not fussed about the colour wheel. 1, it makes my game run way smoother without it, and 2, I honestly think the Sims team is really doing a great job at the minute of kind of tying in all the furniture that we are currently getting together. I have seen some negative opinions about that because a lot of people are like, oh, this just looks like a stuff pack that we got like 2 months ago, like where's all the brand new stuff? But to me, it kind of feels like it's tying the furniture in together. You can kind of work with different stuff packs for the same room, and I really like that. I think that's a thing that was missing from The Sims 4 on its release. You kind of had all this mismatch of furniture and it was just really hard to make a room look like it matched, whereas it's definitely got better over the past few years and with all the packs that the team have released. So I'm really at this point not too fussed about the colour wheel. Like I said, it makes my game run way smoother without it, because that thing was demanding in The Sims 3. I'd click on something to change the color of it and it would take like 10 minutes to freaking load up the color wheel. So don't blame me for not missing that in the slightest. Moving on to number 3, which is definitely one of the most popular things that I have seen people demand from The Sims 4, and that is cars, which it still completely throws me off because although people use the argument like, oh, cars in The Sims 4 could work the same way that they did in The Sims 2, you know, they could sit on driveways and Sims could actually interact with them. They had like car woohoos and things, and it did just spawn out onto the road and then disappear into a loading screen, which is, if cars are ever introduced in The Sims 4, I do see them being like Sims 2 cars. But for me personally, they're just really not gonna add much to the game. A car stuff pack would just be kind of meh, in my opinion. What's the point of hopping into a car on your driveway, pulling off, and then going straight into a loading screen? Honestly, it feels like a little bit of a waste of time for me. That's gonna take like, what, your sim, probably about 15 to 20 minute sim minutes, and I'm just okay without seeing that. The only car I would ever really want to see a comeback of is the fixer-upper car, because I thought that was a great hobby. I really want to see more hobbies in The Sims 4. Definitely hobbies and sports. I think that would be a great kind of stuff pack for the game, but cars are just a no-go for me. And the only reason I want the fixer-upper is so that my families kind of have something to do and they could focus on it. I used to use it for like troubled teens and they really had something to focus on. So that's the only car that I would want to see back in the game, which I know is gonna get me some hate, and I am like cringing at the sight of my comments already, and this video is only just being recorded. We have made it into the top 2 of things I don't want to see in The Sims 4, and again, I think this one is gonna be very divisive, and I'm saying that I don't want open world to return. Honestly, I don't think loading screens are all that bad in The Sims 4, especially on my computer. I mean, I do feel sorry for people who may not have as a powerful PC as mine and who do have to wait a little bit longer for those loading screens, but to me they don't really affect my gameplay or my enjoyment of The Sims 4. They don't take away from my gameplay. I'm not really distracted by them. They're kind of seamless to me. It kind of goes into a loading screen, it's there for a few seconds, and then it goes back into the game. What I would like to see is sort of an open world between neighborhoods. So say if you choose to live in a neighborhood, say if you choose to live in Bargain Bend of Willow Creek, and then you want to go visit your neighbors, I kind of wish there wasn't a loading screen between one house in a neighborhood to another house in a neighborhood. I think that would work very well, because people have noticed that when you are in a neighborhood, the houses and the inside of those houses are already loaded in the game. You can see them clearly, you can clearly see into the houses and see the Sims and stuff, so why do we need a loading screen if the game's already loaded it? I don't really know the mechanics behind all of that. I say that in every video, every speculation video, every kind of what I want to see, what I don't want to see. I freely admit that I don't know much about creating games or the science behind it or how the mechanisms work in a game. I don't know any of that. So I'm not trying to tear apart the game, especially when it's something that I don't know that much about. Like, that would just be rude and also very, very ignorant of me to do so. But I think getting rid of the loading screens in the little neighborhoods would be a good idea for the future. It kind of would open up open world a little bit, but the main reason I don't want to see a full open world back in my game is because we all know how I feel about The Sims 3. The Sims 3, I mean, like I was just saying, I have a fairly powerful PC, and The Sims 3, no matter what I'm doing on it, is pretty hard to run. It lags like crazy, the loading times are ridiculous, and it really started to take the enjoyment of The Sims 3 away from me, and I don't want that in The Sims 4. What I love about The Sims 4 is that it runs very well, it's very quick, and you don't have to take away from the enjoyment of the game whilst waiting for things to load, and with open world that definitely would happen. Also, I feel like the having different worlds available in The Sims 4 is very awesome. I love that. Imagine if they were all open world. Your game would practically poop itself. It would be RIP to the game, and The Sims 4 as we know it would definitely come to an end. You can freely travel from world to world. Every single world that is ever entered into the game, either with a game pack or an expansion pack, you can travel there freely. You can explore the world. You can get to know the Sims in it. I think if open world were a thing, we wouldn't have that freedom. We'd kind of have to stick in the one world that we had our Sims in, and that would not work for The Sims 4 at all, because you'd have to have a vet, you'd probably have to have a couple of restaurants, you'd have to have all of those things in one tiny world, and you wouldn't be able to travel out of it. So that's one thing that I love about The Sims 4, and I think people kind of forget that that wasn't a thing in The Sims 3. In The Sims 3, you chose which world you wanted to live in, and that was it. You were in that world, unless you wanted to like move a family completely from one world to another and have them like interact with all different Sims. You weren't allowed to just go visit Lucky Palms and be like, hey, I'm gonna go to the casino today. You had to put that casino into your world. I think that is one thing that people do tend to forget when they're completely slamming The Sims 4 against The Sims 3, because we're so used to having it in The Sims 4. Like, that's just the thing that's been there since the beginning of the game, and I really love that freedom that we have in this title. It's one of my favorite things about the game. And finally, the one that you guys have been waiting for. What is the number one thing, the top dog of what a lot of people in the community want to see in The Sims 4 that I, the English Simmer, aka Molly, do not want to see? If you know me at all, you may have already guessed it, but I'm throwing it out there. I do not want preteens in The Sims 4. I have gone on rants about this on Twitter in the past, and my main reasoning always for this decision is, do you really, like, think about this? Do you want the team to be even more finely spread than they already are in The Sims 4? To have a part of that team work on preteens. Toddlers, it was completely different. Toddlers, we've had for the past 2 games. We had them in The Sims 2, we had them in The Sims 3, and when they weren't in The Sims 4, it was like, whoa, this massive life stage has been taken out of our game. Toddlers do seem like such a big age in The Sims, because previously they were just going straight from a baby to like a 9 or 10-year-old, and that's a big jump in someone's life. This is a life simulation game, and we were missing out like a solid few foundation years of that person's life. I think toddlers are so well done in The Sims 4. They are such a step up from what babies were or are in The Sims 4, and I really felt like toddlers really helped flesh out the game. However, when people suggest preteens, I just have to ask, why? To me, the kids, the children that we have in the game already kind of seem like preteens, and when kid stuff was released, that was definitely developed further in my mind. I definitely thought, these are kind of like preteens already. I mean, they introduced Between TV in either Parenthood or Kid Stuff. I think it was Kid Stuff, but don't quote me on that. So Between TV came out, and also the kids definitely had like posters of like boy bands that they like and football stars that they like and TV shows and everything like that. So it definitely felt like the kids were moving more from like young children to more preteens, and I really don't think we need a brand new life stage just for that one short moment of a person's life. I mean, it would be cool and all, but we already have 6 stages of a person's life. We have them as a baby, we have them as a toddler, a child, a teenager, a young adult, an adult, and an elder. 7, not even 6. We have 7 stages in someone's life. So I really don't think we need another reiteration of this life stage that is already kind of covered in the game if you choose to demonstrate that in a way. Like for me personally, I kind of like when a kid first ages up to have them be quite young. They focus on a lot of their skills and stuff, but then as they grow a little bit more, and maybe this is more a personal note because I do always tend to play my games on a long lifespan, so I do have that time to kind of dedicate to these Sims. So when they first age up, I have them focus on their like wants and their aspirations and their skills, and then once they've kind of got a little bit of that down, I move them into having like proper hobbies and going out with their friends and entering clubs and enjoying having TV to watch and just doing other things aside from educating themselves and learning about the person and the life skills that they need to develop into a teenager. I also feel as if the teenagers are quite young in The Sims 4, so I feel like that short span between kid and teenager is already sort of covered in the game, and I think that's something that the team will continue to do. With parenthood, we saw that you could apply acne to teenagers. I do wish that were a working thing. I do wish it were like The Sims 2 in the sense that they could get like a pimple and they could squeeze it, and it's kind of a jokey way to sort of show off puberty and hormones and everything that children, preteens and teenagers go through. So I would like to see that a little bit more and developed a bit more, but I don't think the team need to add in that extra life stage to make that happen. I feel like a Sim's life is long enough already, and I really don't want to take some dedicated people from the team and have them work on preteens for months and months when they could be working on a lot of other things behind the scenes that we don't know about, because a life stage probably takes a lot of work. I'm going back to the point of I don't really know much about The Sims development too much, but I'm guessing it takes a hell of a lot of work, a hell of a lot of time. Look how long it took for Toddlers to be released in The Sims 4, and I really don't want to repeat that with preteens. So that pretty much wraps up this video, guys. Some of you might be sitting there thinking, Molly, you sound so freaking entitled. Who are you to say that we don't want these things in The Sims? That's not what I'm trying to do. This is a personal opinion and thoughts piece from me on what I've seen a lot of community members want. That's not saying these are never gonna come into The Sims 4. That's not saying they are ever gonna enter The Sims 4. I don't know what the team has planned for the future of the game, but I wanted to give my thoughts on some of the most popular things that I've seen people want. But what I do want from this video is you guys to start a discussion down in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything that I said that you do really want to see in the game, because I know these are super popular opinions. Or if you agree with me, if you agree on some of the things that I don't feel belong in the game, or just not yet, such as supernaturals. I do want to see them return in The Sims 4, but just not right now. I feel like there's a lot of stuff we need to get sorted before we introduce those extra life forms. Just please don't take this video as a I know what's best for this game, so I'm gonna throw my video out there so I know the team will listen to me, because that's genuinely not how things happen. I do not influence the team in any way. Yes, I am a content creator who focuses on a game, and if any of these things did come into The Sims 4, you guys know I'd cover it. It's news. It's what's in the game that I play every freaking single day of my life to put out for you guys. So you know I'd cover it, even if I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, even if I enjoy it more than I thought I would still create content. I mean, I create content for laundry day stuff, and that definitely exceeded my expectations of what I thought that pack was going to be. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope I didn't come across as really big-headed and entitled. I mean, I just wanted to get my thoughts out there to you guys, and also figure out what you guys are saying about this stuff. What would you like to see in the future? And like I said, I will have that other sit-down vlog video up on Monday for you guys, where we will be discussing some speculation of The Sims 4 and maybe what we can expect from supernaturals. Keep an eye out for it. Asylum Challenge will also be going up tomorrow for you guys, and I will speak to you all then. Bye guys!